Hello everyone! Today we have another Aberdeen magazine recipe here for you. We are going to be making a peach galette. A galette is kind of like a pie, it just doesn't have that top layer of crust on it. So the fruit inside is exposed and it's still just as delicious as a pie. Here are the ingredients that you are going to be using. You're going to need 2 of these refrigerated pie crusts, half a cup of granulated sugar, 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, 1 tablespoon plus 1 teaspoon of cornstarch, 6 medium peaches, pitted and sliced, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. Then you're going to need 2 tablespoons of heavy cream and flour for dusting the surface before you work with the pie crust. All right, so first of all, I went ahead and floured the surface of my workspace here. You are going to unroll your pie crusts here. Now you're going to overlap these 2 by about 3 inches in the middle. All right, so you want to overlap it by about 3 inches. You kind of want to have sort of a rectangle shape when you're done. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you kind of want it to be long ways like so. While you are preparing the rest of your ingredients, you're going to want to preheat your oven to 425 degrees. All right, after you have your pie crust flattened out like so, in a large mixing bowl, you're going to combine your lemon juice, cinnamon, granulated sugar, cornstarch, and then your peaches. Then you're going to gently toss all of these together in the bowl. All right, so we're going to bring our pie dough back and we're going to arrange the peaches in an even layer. You want to leave about 1.5 inch border around your pie crust because we will be folding over the sides in a little bit. That's one of the main differences between a galette and a pie is that you're folding over the edges of your crust instead of putting another one on top of it. So an even layer and 1.5 inch border around it. And I cut up 6 peaches. This takes about 6 medium peaches. So you might use a couple more, you might use, depending on, yeah. So just make a nice even layer. I think by using fresh peaches, you're going to really get some of those good flavors. I think that in a pinch, you could use frozen peaches or maybe canned, but if you can get fresh peaches, that's definitely the way to go with this one. I used to bake a lot in high school. We would when I was in high school, we would do something called fancy lunches. And that was just, one day I decided I thought it would be funny if we dressed up in like formal wear, if we put on, my female friends, we put on dresses, and my male friends, they put like a button-up shirt, and some of them even wore ties when we did this. But I would bring a tablecloth, we brought sparkling cider, we brought little stemmed cups that we had to put together, and I would bake like cupcakes or a cake or something, and just we would set up at lunchtime. Sometimes we would bring flowers in a vase, and if you did not dress fancy, I did not let you sit there with us. I took it very seriously. It was a lot of fun. This is definitely a fancy lunch worthy dessert. So here's the pattern that we came up with for the peaches. We had some extra slices, so we added a few more, but after you have all of your fruit aligned on the pie crust, you're going to fold it over the fruit and you're going to crimp it every so often just to make sure that it can stay. There. And then when you are done, you might have some extra of this sugar, cinnamon, lemon juice mix, and you can just go ahead and drizzle that extra on top of your fruit. So you're going to take your heavy whipping cream and you're just going to lightly brush it on the edge of your crust here. All right, and then if you would like, you can sprinkle a little bit of sugar on the crust of your galette after you put the whipping cream on. All right, once you have completed finishing off your crust, we're going to move this to a baking sheet with some parchment paper. Well, maybe this would be easier. You should move your crust to the parchment paper before you organize your peaches. Might be a little bit easier than what we just did. Okay. Once you have your baking sheet ready, we're going to bake this at 425 for 10 minutes. Then you're going to reduce it to 375 and finish baking for 30 to 35 minutes until it's golden brown and your filling is bubbling. All right, we just took this out of the oven. This one ended up only taking about 20 minutes after we reduced the temperature, so we did pull it out a little bit earlier. I think it'll depend on your oven at home, but I think it turned out really nice. The edges are nice golden brown. The juices from the fruit ended up looking really tasty. I'm glad that we did the little cross-hatch pattern because I think that adds a nice little bit of presentation, and I think the sugar on the edges is definitely a step. I don't think you'll want to skip that. So let's get this cut up and we will go and do the taste test. All right, we have our peach galette and we are going to do the taste test, the moment that we've all been waiting for. So cheers. That's very good. That's very yummy. It's super sweet, not overly so. I think we mixed just enough sugar to really work with the natural sweetness of the peach. And even though they're not super in season at the time of recording this video, I think these ended up being delicious. The pie crust is really nice and flaky. I should get a bite of this. I picked an edge piece so I can kind of get some of that crust too. I think that the cream on the side of it was a good choice too, because a buttery crust would be really good too, but I think that with just a little bit of sugar sprinkled on there is very nice. This is working together very well. Thank you so much for watching this video and joining me in an Aberdeen magazine recipe. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss another recipe. Make sure you turn the notifications on. Make sure that you look out for a copy of Aberdeen magazine out in most businesses in town. This recipe will be available in the print edition of the magazine and also available at aberdeenmag.com. Thanks.